tell my mom like I want to be a painter or something like astronaut. You know, it changed every week. Like, Mom, I'm gonna do this, and she would always be like, oh, yeah, she just, you know, she tell me okay. You know, I know some parents that like, what you talking about? Like, my mom wasn't like that. She was more like whatever I said, she entertained it. But my two real dreams, as smart as I was, I still had the generic dreams. Like I really did want to go to the NBA. I thought I was going to do that. But then when I realized I wasn't, it was a slow realization that I wasn't good enough. But after I started rapping, I noticed right away that there was a clear difference between like the reaction that I got rapping and the reaction that my friends got rapping. You know what I mean? Like even if I wasn't conscious of it, it was a feeling that I got from rapping. You know, yeah, it was different from basketball. Basketball was like I was always, you know, I might be the best guy on the court. Chances are I probably wasn't, and there was always somebody that came around and made me be like, yeah, that dude is way better than you. But rap, I never got that feeling. All throughout the city, we used to rap. You know, I had homeboys from other schools. We used to get on the phone. Like, this is how much we love doing this. Every day we'll come home. I called him. My man said this here. I called him. He'll get on three-way with somebody else. My man Marcus is a three-way. Daniel a three-way. Demetrius. So it's 10 people on the phone just rapping. Then we'll meet up Friday night at the football games. And we only go to the football games just because we know we're going to start a cipher. And everyone's going to come around and see us rapping. And I started to notice right away, like, the reactions I was getting was clearly different. You know what I mean? So on this dream, it felt real. It felt like attainable. You know what I mean? So that's what let me know, like, okay, I could really do this. So I was like maybe 14, 15 when it started feeling real.
You know, this is a perfect. Which I had a question. I generally always ask a question as a shout out to mothers and families that discover their kids love hip hop,
right?
And then they discover their kids are actually going to like try a career in hip hop. So how did your mom deal with your dreams, and did you have to participate in any high level negotiations with her?
That's the thing about my mom. She was super. That's the reason why I am who I am, because she really entertained. She really just let me run loose. Like there was not a big leash on me, and any type of idea I had, she would support it. So if I wanted to come home and paint, she'll give me you know, she does this. She'll give me a set of watercolors and a paintbrush, and I'll paint something terrible. And so like, oh look, it's a Nike check, and she'll be like, oh, it's beautiful. You know, she'll really entertain my dream. So when I started rapping, we didn't have any beats to rap to. This is just an example of how my mom really launched my career. We didn't have any beats to rap to, so like I said, it's me and my friends, and all we're doing is like rapping on instrumental. So Sid had this one Nas instrumental that we used to rap to all the time. This one Nas instrumental, and he had Missy too, the Hot Boys instrumental. We used to rap on Nas, Shoot 'Em Up, and Missy Hot Boys all the time. Like we didn't have no other beats to rap to. So it got to a point where I'm 14 and I'm feeling like, yo, I need to take this thing to the next level. How do I get original beats? So there's two things that my mom did that shows you the type of supportive person she was. Supportive parent. There was a local group that I read about in the school newspaper which I never read. It was in high school. I never read the paper. Just so happened I opened it up and there was a review about a local group called Bomb Shelter, and I was like, they was talking about this local rap group. I'm like, somebody from Fayetteville making music? So I went home, got on the internet, listened to it, and it sounded real. Like it sounded, for the first time in my life, I heard somebody from Fayetteville that made something that sounded like what I was hearing on the radio. Like one of the guys sounded like Redman to me. The other one, like the beat was original. So I stalked these dudes online for so long. Like I emailed, sent a bunch of emails that I seen on the website at the time. AOL was the thing or whatever. I made sure that every time I seen his name pop up online, I was like, yo. It took like 5 months for this guy to hit me back because he didn't even know how it worked. Like he thought I was like trying to like hack him or something. He didn't really know how it worked. So finally he responded to me, and this is what my mom did. I was talking to him like, yo, I'm 14, I'm the best, ain't nobody here. Like, close to me, trust me. And he was like, all right, man, look, come to a show. So they had this show at the skate zone. It's like 20 people there. He said he came with me. There's like 20 people there. I'm 14 years old. There's all these, 20-year-old, 21-year-old dudes coming to this real underground rap show, and I'm super young. And they invite me up on the stage. Well, not me, they knew I was there. I think it's because they knew I was there. They was like, yo, anybody out there, any MCs want to get on stage and rock, come on. So I'm like, I think it's sad, like, yo. I walk up on the stage and I'm 14 and these other guys are like 20-something years old and I just destroyed it. So afterwards they invite me to their studio, which is really just the crib. It's just the house. You know, if you really think about it, that's pretty weird. I'm 14 years old, and these guys are like, you know, adults, they like 21. But it just so happened, as fate would have it, that they live, this is how you know, like, God works in the universe, works and things are supposed to happen. They live directly next door to my mother's best friend. So when my mom was like, so I'm telling my mom, like, Mom, I met these dudes, they rap. I'm gonna go to their house. I'm 14, man. She's like, what's the address? Like, I think about it, what's the address where they live? I'm like, something Glen Rock. She's like, what's the address? My mom's she's a mail carrier, so she knows the streets. And she's like, what's the address? That's right next to B. So my mom takes me over there, drops me off, and leaves me. Like, with these dudes, they in the crib smoking weed. I'm coming to the house smelling like weed, you know. But she was very open-minded and still was supportive enough to let me go pursue my dream. So to cut the story down, I realized I wasn't going to get no beats from these guys because they were saving all the best beats for themselves. But I didn't notice that they were making them. So me just being naive, I was like, well, yo, I just make my own beats. I just need one of those. So, Mom, I'm telling you, I need one. You know, so for the whole year, I'm begging her for this beat machine, and she made it happen. At the time, I mean, it's still a lot of money, but at the time, the beat machine was like $1,400, $1,700. And she did what she had to do, like layaway, however she did it, she made it happen. And I had a beat machine, and that was the start of my, like, my producer rap career, you know what I mean? So, you know, I produce my own songs from then on. So, that was a long story. That was
And we want to meet your mother.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me ask you this, because I mean, I think this is really just incredible information about how one gets started and how you keep going and how you work at something. Often, especially in hip hop, when people start out, if someone says you have to have a plan B,
right,
it's often seen as a way to shoot down a dream.
Yeah.
So how does one work with the plan B? How do you deal with that, people saying just in case,
right,
but you have your, how do you work that out?
Right.
Especially when you're young.
That's a great question because there's some stories out there, a lot of stories where you hear, like, whether it be Chris Rock, some people didn't even graduate high school, they were like, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing comedy, I'm going to make it happen, and they made it happen, and they didn't even have a plan B. Mine was the opposite. I used my plan B as the tool, as a shift to my plan A. So my plan B was like, well, I'm smart, I know I'm college bound. I don't necessarily plan on using my degree, but I know I'm college bound. I've been thinking about college my whole life. My mom's been instilling that in me. You know, she didn't go to school. She was smart enough to make sure I went. So I just use college as a ticket to get to where I think it's at, which is New York City. I had an infatuation with New York City because I took a trip there one time, on a school trip. And I knew as soon as I touched down, I'm from Fayetteville, y'all gotta understand, it's like, 100 and something thousand people in my city, 11 high schools. And by no means is it a small town, but it's nowhere near New York, not Boston, you know what I mean? So when I saw New York, it was just something, it opened my eyes. I feel like a lot of kids from where I'm from never get that experience. Like going to Raleigh, which is an hour away, was a big deal to us. It was like, oh, okay, we're going to Raleigh. It was a move. So when I went to New York, it let me know, like, oh, this exists. You know what I mean? Like, this is out in the world. So I used my plan B, which was, like, worst come to worst, if the rap don't work out, I always have a degree. That was my plan B, was a degree. I used that as a way to get to where the plan A was. So I went to St. John's University in Queens because it was in New York City, and I figured I'd be around the industry. It was way harder than what I thought. I really had a very immature mind about how this thing was going to go. I thought that I was just, like, this is the same kid that used to dribble outside and think that, like, some NBA scout was going to drive by and see me dribbling the ball and be like, hey, I really like the way you do it. I used to have those thoughts. That's a little kid. So those immature, like, I guess, continue into the rap dream, and I thought that, you know, just by being good and being in New York, those two things would, you know, would serve each other. And it didn't work like that, but it did put me where I needed to be and gave me the opportunity to figure this thing out. So I used my plan B to get to plan A.
You know, very quickly, North Carolina seems to be the theme here at Harvard this term, because ninth is here, and he's from North Carolina. So my question is there something in the water or something? What is it about North Carolina, you know, the Bible Belt that, you know, produces this?
Well, it's North Carolina in particular is definitely southern, but it's also East Coast and directly in the middle of I-95, between Florida and New York. So it's a melting pot, which is why you get, I mean, if you came to Fayetteville, you're not going to find a lot of people that rap like me. You're going to hear a lot of trap music. You're going to hear a lot of like real down south infused music, which is great. But you also go up an hour away and you're going to find Ninth Wonder and Little Brother, which is very East Coast influence. That's because North Carolina is right in the middle. You get this super southern style of music, or you get this super East Coast style of music. And I don't know what it is about North Carolina. We got a lot of talent on the way, but I just think we're humble. You know what I mean? Like, it's southern, so we're like, I noticed that's a clear difference between North Carolina and New York. It's like, in the South, it's better to be humble. You know, it's like, it's looked at as a, you know, if I'm nice to you, you're going to walk away like, that young man is so nice. In New York, it's almost better to have confidence and like a swagger about you and to be almost cocky because you're competing with so many people. Humble gets you nowhere in New York. So I think that's what it is about North Carolina. You know, I don't know. I don't know. That's what it is.
It does. So how do you feel about the up down? You're cool?
I'm cool if you're cool. I'm worried about you.